In this lecture, we're going to have a look on a tool called Beef. Beef is a browser exploitation framework allowing us to run a number of commands and attacks on a hooked target. A hooked target is basically a target which executes a URL or a JavaScript code given to us by Beef. Once a target is hooked, then we'll be able to run all the commands that Beef allows us to. So to run Beef, all you have to do is just click on the Beef icon right here. One click. It's going to start it for us. And it's going to automatically run this URL, which contains the browser interface or the web interface of the tool. So it's asking us for a username and a password, and the username is Beef and the password is Beef as well. Once logged in, you'll see on the left, we'll see the browsers that we have access to. So we can see here we have the hooked browsers. So the online browsers are the browsers that we currently have access to, and the offline is the ones that we had access to. So at the moment, I can't run any commands on these browsers. I had access to these browsers before, but at the moment, I can't do anything on them. So what interests us is the online browsers. There's a number of methods to get browsers or targets hooked to Beef. So if we just get back to the terminal window, and if we have a look here, you can see that it's telling us the script that has to be executed on the target browser so that they get hooked to Beef. This is the script, and if you can find or think of any way to get this piece of code to be executed on the target computer, then that target will be hooked to Beef, and then you'll be able to run all types of commands on that computer. So you can use stuff that we already learned. So you can use DNS spoofing to spoof any request to any page, to a page containing the hook. Or you can do ARP poisoning and inject the hook code on its own into any page that the target person browses. And we'll have an example of that. We can inject this code into the browser, into the pages that the target person browses, and they'll be hooked to Beef without clicking on anything, so without having to send them anything. So we're going to be using the same command that we were doing before when we were injecting an alert dialog. So it's going to be man in the middle F. And then we're going to do inject. And we're going to do JSURL. And we're going to give it the URL where the hook is. So the hook is in HTTP. So same command that we always use, it's man in the middle F. We're doing ARP spoofing. We're given the gateway, we're given the target, we're given the interface, and we're using the inject plugin, and we're using a JSURL, so URL for a JavaScript, and the URL is the URL where the hook is stored. So I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to just browse something normal. I'm just going to go to bing.com. If we go back to our Beef, you'll see that we have a target, and that target is the Windows device. So the code has been automatically injected into bing.com. So the user didn't have to visit anything or click any URL, any web page that they're going to visit. They'll actually, the code will be injected into that page and they'll get hooked. So the user will basically get hooked as soon as they browse any website. So if we go to the page source, if you look at the bottom here, you'll see that we have the hook script right here have been injected at the bottom of the page source. That's why it's been executed. So now that we have our browser or target hooked, we can go on the commands and start executing commands on that target. You can use the search to filter you're looking for a certain command if you know what you're looking for, or you can use the categories and look for commands suitable to what you want to do on the target computer. Some of these commands are information gathering commands, some of them are social engineering, some of them will even give you full control over the target computer. There's a lot of commands, so I won't be able to go over all of them, but I'll be showing you examples of simple ones so you know how to experiment and run the other commands. So we're starting, if you go in the browser, you'll see commands related to stuff that you can do inside the browser. So you can see things that will allow you to, for example, get a screenshot. You'll be able to try and gain and turn on the webcam and see if it works, and basically open the webcam on the target. You can gather information. If you go here on the exploits, you'll see a number of exploits that you can run. Again, depending on what's running on the target computer, you can run them. All you have to do is just click on the module that you want to run and click on execute. Sometimes some modules need to send some options to be set up, and we'll have examples of that as well. In the social engineering, again, there's some really cool stuff that you can do. You can show fake updates, fake notification bars, and stuff like that. So let's have an example of a very simple command. So again, we're going to do just an alert to show an alert box. So I'm just using the search to filter, and you can see here this will just create an alert dialog, and it's going to say beef alert dialog. You can modify this and type in anything you want. For example, I'm going to type in test, and then when you hit execute, go on the target, and you'll see that the target got a message saying test. So this has been injected into the target browser. Another really good plugin is a plugin. It's a redirect plugin, and it'll basically allow you to redirect the browser to any web page you want. This could be very useful because you can use it to redirect the target person and tell them that they need to download an update, and instead of giving them an update, give them a backdoor. You can redirect them to a fake login page, for example, for Facebook. You can really do anything you want with this. So you can set the website that you want the target to be redirected to, and we're going to redirect them to Beef Project in this example. And once you hit execute, as you can see here, they're redirected to Beef Project. Now let's have a look on a social engineering plugin that will allow us to steal usernames and passwords for accounts. So basically the way this works is it'll dim the screen and it'll tell the person that you got logged out of your session, so please log in to your account again so you can get authenticated. So this will allow us to bypass HTTPS, HSTS, all the security that's used by the target account page. For example, if you're trying to get username and password for Facebook, then you'll be able to bypass all the security that Facebook uses, because what you're doing is you're actually just showing a fake Facebook page. So the user will never actually get in contact with Facebook. So let's just click on this, and you'll see that you can click from here. You can click what account that you want to hijack. So let's say we're going with Facebook, and you can select what the backlight will be. So we're just leaving that as gray, and we're going to execute this. And when we go to our target, you'll see that they're being told that they got logged out of their session. So please log in with your username and password. So I'm going to put my username as Zaid. Then I'm going to put my password as 123456. Hit enter. And if we go back here, you'll see that we got our username was Zaid and the password was 123456. So again, this is a really good way of gaining access to accounts, because even if the user is not planning on logging into the account that you're trying to steal, then you'll kind of force them to enter their username and password to get to be logged back into their account, and then you'll be able to capture the username and the password. Now this was a very basic look on Beef. There's more methods to hook targets to Beef other than ARP poisoning. There is also a lot more attacks that you can do with Beef. There's attacks that would give you full control over the target computer, but I won't be going over them because they're really outside network penetration testing. If you're interested into learning more about gaining access and exploiting target computers, then I suggest you have a look on my general ethical hacking course. in which I explain a large number of methods that will allow you to gain full control over computers.